Hello, my friends, and happy Friday. Today is April the 9th, and this is the 40th. Oh, 40th, so exciting. The 40th edition of Book Fun Friday. As always, welcome. I'm so happy that you're here. So, the book I'm going to be talking about today is titled October Mourning, and you can see the spelling there, Mourning, Mourning. And the subtitle of this book is A Song for Matthew Shepard, and it's written by the author Leslea Newman. Let me tell a little bit about this book. Back in October of 1998, a 21-year-old college student named Matthew Shepard, he was attending University of Wyoming, was attacked by two other 21-year-old young men. Matthew was beaten horribly and robbed and tied to a fence. That's why you see a fence there on the cover of the book. He was tied to a fence and left tied to this fence by these two men who attacked and brutally beat him and robbed him. Well, 18 hours later, I can't imagine, but 18 hours later, he was discovered tied to this fence by a mountain biker who called for help. Matthew was transported to a hospital, and sadly, 6 days later, he died. Well, the two young men who attacked and beat and robbed him were caught and put on trial and found guilty and are serving life sentences. And there was this wave of activism that came after that, because it turns out that Matthew was intentionally targeted for this attack because he was gay. Well, when all of this story came out, the author, Leslea Newman, decided that she had to respond to this by writing this book, and that's how this book came into being. This book is a collection of 68 poems that she has written, and each poem is told from a different perspective, from the people, the person who discovered Matthew or the perpetrators of the crime. She even uses personification to capture the perspective of non-human things that are connected to the crime. And that's how this book came to be. It tells this whole story about this horrible thing that happened to this young man named Matthew Shepard. So I'm going to share some of the poems in the book, and then I'm going to close with a couple paragraphs from the opening, the foreword in the book, that are written by Matthew's mother, whose name is Judy. And this first poem is titled The Fence Before. Out and alone on the endless, empty prairie, the moon bathes me. The stars bless me. The sun warms me. The wind soothes me. Still, 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 I wonder, will I always be out here, exposed and alone? Will I ever know why I was put on this earth? Will somebody someday stumble upon me? Will anyone remember me after I'm gone? Let that last part stick with you. Remember me after I'm gone. So the second poem is titled The Fence That Night. I held him all night long. He was heavy as a broken heart. Tears fell from his unblinking eyes. He was dead weight, yet he kept breathing. He was heavy as a broken heart. His own heart wouldn't stop beating. He was dead weight, yet he kept breathing. His face streaked with moonlight and blood. His own heart wouldn't stop beating. The cold wind wouldn't stop blowing. His face streaked with moonlight and blood. I tightened my grip and held on. The cold wind wouldn't stop blowing. We were out on the prairie alone. I tightened my grip and held on. I saw what was done to this child. We were out on the prairie alone. Their truck was the last thing he saw. I saw what was done to this child. I cradled him just like a mother. Their truck was the last thing he saw. Tears fell from his unblinking eyes. I cradled him just like a mother. I held him all night long. And this third poem is titled The Fence, 1 week later. I keep still. I stand firm. I hold my ground while they lay down flowers and photos, prayers and poems, crystals and candles, sticks and stones. They come in herds. They stand and stare. They sit and sigh. They crouch and cry. Some of them touch me in unexpected ways without asking permission, and then move on. But I don't mind. Being a shrine is better than being the scene of a crime. Excuse me. And this last poem is titled The Fence After. Preyed upon, frowned upon, revered, feared, adored, abhorred, despised, idolized, splintered, scarred, weathered, worn, broken down, broken up, ripped apart, ripped away, gone, but not forgotten. And remember that first part early on about the fence asking, will I be remembered after I'm gone? The fence was eventually torn down, but obviously still remembered. Okay, this last part is from the foreword of the book, and it's written by Matthew Shepard, Matthew's mother. I have resisted exploring anything that relates to Matt's murder. It feels redundant and unnecessary to relive the events, emotions, and chaos once you've lived through it. You may not survive it again. So in full disclosure and in the spirit of the honesty of this beautiful book, this is my first venture back in time with Leslea's poetry collection. It is remarkable how so much can be relayed in this form. All the emotions anyone experiences in these unholy situations are revealed. Not only the emotions, but the facts, told in a way everyone can envision while reading every word. A poet is a storyteller, and I believe the world is enlightened by the storyteller. History has been told and retold through the ages by the storyteller. We experience things differently through the words of the storyteller. We feel things through the words of the storyteller that may be new to us. These words may frighten us, make us laugh or cry, or cause us to feel anger, sadness, or loneliness. These words may even make us wonder about the purpose of our very existence. In short, these words force us to think and to question. My hope is that you, the reader, will experience all of this as you read through Leslea's beautiful words and wonder, why did this happen? Why does anything like this ever happen? And what can I do to make sure nothing like this ever happens again? And again, this is October Mourning, a song for Matthew Shepard, and it's written by the author Leslea Newman. Well, guys, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here. I'm sorry I'm sort of choked up today. I appreciate you as always. Continue taking care of yourselves, and I will see you next Friday for episode 41 of Book Fun Friday. Bye, everyone.